Hello everyone and welcome to Crypto Atlas. This is a quick update video for AMC. This closed out on the week. We're going to go over some price action movement where we could potentially be seeing coming up next from a technical analysis standpoint and just a little bit more information for you guys as far as for today. So if you guys are new to the channel, do not forget to hit subscribe, hit the thumbs up like button. It definitely helps us out with the YouTube search algorithm, and feel free to share this video on social media if you think other people would find this to be helpful as well. Please keep in mind, I'm not a financial advisor. Everything I'm sharing is my own opinion, it's my own research, and I encourage you guys to do your own research as well. So what we're showing you right now is actually the threshold securities list. As you guys can see, AMC is still actually on this list, the trade date being July 8th, which was yesterday's date, but it is still being identified on here. Just pulled this up right now. And if you guys go ahead and take a look over here for the price action movement for the day, it did drop down 3.65% on the closeout. It was very low volume. If you take a look in comparison to, say, yesterday, high level activity that took place, big swing action movements, everything ended up closing out in the day in the positive and the green. Everything was looking absolutely wonderful. And then today we wanted to see if some of these option calls were going to close out in the money. There were 28,773 call options that were expiring within the money, but we did see that drop down just a little bit here. Currently, there are 1 million shares available to borrow and 21,000, and also 2.7 million ETF shares available to borrow. So as far as for borrowing goes, there's a lot of crackdowns, regulations, new rules that are being proposed. One recent new proposition is with FINRA. And so it's making it more and more difficult and more likely, once again, that we'll end up seeing the short squeeze really start to take place. One of the things I want to point out to you guys back here on the chart real quick is that you guys can actually see this bottom red line. I just drew this for today. I'm going to go ahead and use the baseline of the candle there. If we end up using the bottom of the wick, those are typically where there are irregularities, and I try to avoid those kinds of things, and I want to get it a little bit more accurate as possible. So what this does is it dramatically extends out the deadline of when we could see a potential another major move. And that would push it all the way to August 5th. However, please keep in mind we do have an opportunity to still recover and to move back in within this position, and we have a couple of things working in our favor. So the 13 days for the New York Stock Exchange threshold security list that was being identified, that should actually come to its fruition around June 15th. Which is going to be taking place next week. So around June 15th to the 16th is still fitting right in line with that big symmetrical triangle pattern, fits in with the second range. So the bottom level of support, which is now actually resistance, is that yellow line. We have 3 days of closure that were below that yellow line, which in typical traditional standards signifies a higher likelihood of a further continuation down. So meaning that we would see further selling pressure. But as I mentioned, with that list coming up next week, we very well could potentially just shoot right through this, especially if things hold on. You know, we might see a dip with like what we saw with Volkswagen squeeze, where there was a big price drop before it ended up shooting up a ton. This is something that we have seen frequently within these kind of short squeeze positions. And so you really want to keep an eye on what's going on in the market, guys. Another thing I want to point out right here too is that for the dark pool, the amount of shares in the positions on the dark pool is continuing to go down, now at 261 million shares. So they're using the dark pool activity much less now. As you guys can see, even over the traditional markets, the amount of volume here has been quite dramatically low. According to Ortex, the estimated short interest is right around 18-19%. However, it's being suggested by a lot of other variety of resources and individuals that are quite experienced in this field. They say you typically want to add about 10% to that, to 20% more. So I think it's more realistic, just my opinion, that instead of it being at 19%, we're more likely at, say, 29 or 39%, especially if you start cracking down and looking into these synthetic shares, which is something that has to have a full-on investigation into, and then it goes over to these brokerage companies and getting them involved, and next thing you know, they stop doing lending of things. So it's a progressive thing, guys. Don't expect one thing, one element that comes out, and then that's the end-all be-all of everything. Like, you're seeing it come together. There's more and more new things that are rolling out, but obviously it's not just that one new thing came out. Now we're seeing the short squeezes taking place. So the biggest thing is to keep in mind that all we have to do is hold. When you buy and hold, that's it. When you short something, well, guess what? You've got interest you're going to have to pay, and eventually you're going to end up getting margin called. So it's a waiting game. I know it's not happening as fast as what people want, But hey, if you're like me and you're used to being poor a large portion of your life, of course we can hold. There's no big deal with this, right? So yeah, we had things that we want to do. Patience is a virtue. And guys, continue to live your life. Take care of your health. Find other things to take your mind off of it. Try not to stress out and worry too much. I'm holding on. I've bought more AMC shares. My dollar cost average is actually going up, right? So most of my shares I bought were down below, but I've been buying up, raising my average price, getting closer to this. So I'm supporting the movement. And I just want you guys to know that I feel really confident about this still. A lot of people feel really confident about this too. And a lot of people that are out there that are trying to make you think otherwise, well, those are going to be the media. It's hedge fund groups that are doing things. They're planting people in. And you see these shenanigans that are going on in like the comments on Webull and stuff and the pre-markets. So if you guys go on there and you look at the comments, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about with this stuff. And just keep your conviction. If you believe in the project, then keep on holding. Golden rule of investing, never invest more than what you're willing to lose. Okay? Anything can technically happen with this stuff. I do have referral links in the description, so if you guys want to earn some free cryptocurrencies or free stocks, feel free to check those out, guys. Again, that is free money for you, so feel free to look at that, and if you aren't part of one of those things, take a look into it a little bit more. Let us know in the comments what you guys think about this and what's going to be happening next week. If you're new, don't forget to hit subscribe, hit the thumbs up like button, and if you want to, go check me out on Twitter at CryptoAtlasYT. Thanks, guys, and I'll see you in the next episode.